The little girl was born mentally challenged. She couldn't even tell the difference between a $1 bill and a $5 bill. But what no one knew was, the little girl possessed extraordinary mathematical talent. When she saw an unsolved math problem on the wall, without even thinking, she wrote down the answer. In an instant, she solved the problem that had stumped the top students in the school for an entire year. However, due to her mental deficiency, she was often bullied by her peers. One day, her grandfather was suddenly diagnosed with late-stage cancer. He had only 1 month left to live at most, so he took his granddaughter to her uncle's house, hoping her uncle would adopt the girl after his death. But her snobbish uncle heartlessly refused. Seeing this, her grandfather took out all his life savings, yet her uncle knocked the money to the ground, claiming it wasn't enough. Left with no choice, the grandfather knelt and begged his brother to take in the child. The uncle was about to relent, but at that moment, the aunt rushed over. Without a word, she shut them out of the house. From that day on, the grandfather began teaching the girl how to earn a living on her own. After a meal, he would tell her, when he passed away, she should sell newspapers at his little stand to make a living. Even though the mentally challenged girl didn't understand what death meant, she had always listened to her grandfather. Whatever he taught her, she would do. But even after selling for half a day, she didn't sell a single newspaper. A group of children came over, bullied her for being a fool. Not only did they snatch her newspapers, but they folded them all into paper airplanes to play with. Seeing his granddaughter so helpless, the grandfather didn't know what to do. At that moment, 2 government agents barged into their home, claiming the nation was at war. The enemy had launched an information warfare campaign against them, and they had to locate a genius in information science as soon as possible. The grandfather wanted to help, so he quickly asked for the genius's characteristics, but all the agents knew was, the genius had only one defining feature: they wore a red hat. Coincidentally, the girl spotted a beggar under a bridge wearing a red hat. Out of kindness, she gave the beggar a steamed bun, unaware that this man was the very genius they were searching for. The beggar had been living under the bridge, because he was stuck on a math problem he couldn't solve. As he brooded over it, the girl, without a second thought, wrote down the solution. The beggar was completely stunned, because he had been pondering that problem for 10 years. Meanwhile, the 2 agents searched the entire city, but couldn't find the beggar genius. The nation was on the brink of defeat. As a last resort, the agents pinned their hopes on the final school in the city. Coincidentally, the girl was also selling newspapers at this school. She tried to get the principal to buy one, but the principal, busy welcoming the agents, ignored her completely. The agents then wrote the problem on the blackboard, and asked the students if anyone could solve it, but no one could figure it out. At that moment, the girl, passing by, walked into the room. While everyone was distracted, she began solving the problem on the blackboard. Little did she know, this action would completely change her future.